the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast here on a Wednesday morning hump day. Good to have all of you join us. Getting a little bit later start this morning because we love technical difficulties, but we bring you our new intro. So that was pretty cool.
That has me with a smile on my face this morning.
That was a cool intro. Again, I want to thank our buddy Justin for putting that together for us and moving us on up. And again, big day for us yesterday as we eclipsed 1,000 subscribers here on our YouTube channel, and we just keep rocking and rolling. Faith, we're on up to 1,100, I believe now. So we appreciate it. Again, so many of you out there that have found us, and you're spreading the word and helping us tremendously. We couldn't do it without you. And again, we're going to get to some of our sponsors here in just a second, but it was not a good night for Auburn basketball last night. Auburn falls to Texas A&M 83-72. We were all a little concerned about this game, to be honest about it. And there's a lot of things that we want to talk about this game. And I don't think anybody needs to think the sky's falling or anything like that. There were a lot of circumstances that brought the result out of this game, I feel like, and we're going to talk about those this morning, Faith, as we dive into this loss, with Auburn having one more regular season game left, and obviously it's the biggie at home against Alabama, the second round of the Iron Bowl. You and I will be at Bunkers on Friday, and we're going to have maybe one or at least one, maybe two special guests with us during the show. But we're going to get to that a little bit later on, talk about that. But again, I hate to lose. Bruce Pearl hates to lose, and that's a good thing. And you heard his press conference. It was short last night. It's about 7.5 minutes after the game. And, he doesn't mince any words. He doesn't try to sugarcoat anything. There's one key area, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why we lost this game, is we got our butt whipped on the boards. And Texas A&M's the best offensive rebounding team in this conference, and it showed. We didn't show very much energy in the first half. There's a lot of things we can pull out of this to go down, but I want to start on the boards, and I want to start with the way we started. And look, Alabama dropped a couple of games where they got in a hole and got down big. Well, we didn't get down big, but we did get down 7-0. And when you look at the final score of the game, lose 83-72, look, I know the game kind of ebbs and flows, and you come back and you cut into, but when you spot somebody 7, 8, 9 points out of the gate, well, you're immediately working uphill. And I know we've done that to other teams too, but you can't start 7 to 10 points in the hole against a team that's got 8 seniors, that is senior night, had lost 4 in a row, was desperate, had the number one team in the country coming in, and then you show up and play kind of half-ass. Let's just be honest about it. And we say that all the time on here. And you're going to play half-ass, you're probably going to lose. It doesn't matter who you're playing in this league. And to me, that was the worst effort for Auburn this year. Now, again, no Denver Jones. I think we felt that pretty roughly last night. He's an elite defender, and it hurt us out top. But I'm just going to go back to the boards. You and I talked about it, and you texted me last night about the effort and how pitiful it was early on in the game, and not by everybody. I'm not going to group everybody into that category, but we got our butt whipped on the board.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And Bruce has said it so many times that Denver just makes such an impact on the defensive side. And after him not being there last night, I feel like we could really see that. And it was really apparent that our defense was just not there. Our passing was sloppy. And there were so many more of their jerseys whenever the ball hit the rim or there was a rebound coming down, and they were there and we were not. And it's as simple as that, is we got outplayed, we got outscored, and we looked slow.
We look okay. Let's analyze this for a second. We won the SEC championship on Saturday. You celebrate, and you should celebrate, because this is a grueling season, and you went ahead and locked that up. You didn't practice on Sunday, and then you got a quick turnaround game on Tuesday. So you had a short amount of practice yesterday on Monday, and then the trip out to A&M to play on Tuesday. This was a quick turnaround. Again, we said this yesterday. This was a set-up situation where we didn't like it the way it fell. And we've always struggled with A&M. Bruce Pearl talked about that last night too. We talked about it yesterday. I think I don't know what it is. It's not a good record in the last 6 or 7 matchups. Maybe 2 wins in that stretch. But again, it just shows you when one team, and let's be honest, it was Texas A&M Super Bowl. And again, I'm not trying to diminish. They came out and did what they needed to do. So this is not a shot at them, but this was bigger for them. I mean, we've clinched the SEC. You don't want to become lethargic. You don't want to become content and comfortable. And I don't think this Auburn team will. I think this Auburn team will respond Saturday. I think you'll see that. I am a little concerned right now with Janai Broome. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
Dylan Cardwell stepped up last night, no doubt about it.
He absolutely did. He was 4 for 4, and there's all kind of different places I want to go with all this, but I want to kind of stay on track with my mind, and you just tell me to shut the hell up if I'm all over the place. You look at the stats, 25 of 50. We've shot the ball. If you told me we were going to shoot 50% from the field and 9 of 22 from 3, which was 40.9%, and Texas A&M shot 43% from the field and 36% from 3-point, I would have said all day long. But the problem is we shot the ball 50 times. They shot it 65. They made 28 baskets. We made 25, and then they got to the free throw line a little bit more than us. I mean, the storyline was the boards, the second chance points, getting your butt whipped on the boards. 25 rebounds for us, 41 rebounds for them. And we knew that Texas A&M was a very good rebounding team, but it's just like Coach Pearl said last night, there is no excuse to get beat that badly on the boards. I don't care how good they are rebounding. I don't care that they lead the conference in that stat category. You know, there were times that we just looked like, whatever. And you spotted it early. You said this team has no energy. And, I don't know why was that. It's like Coach Pearl said, it's not because they didn't respect Texas A&M. That had nothing to do with it. I think it was a hangover. I think it was a hangover from the weekend. And sometimes you just got to chalk it up and say, that was terrible. We got to flush that one. And we got to finish the regular season on a high note at home. It'll be senior night for Auburn. And you got Alabama in there. So there's going to be all the energy in the world to get back. You got an extra day of rest now. Alabama plays tonight against Florida. My God. I mean, that's a 1-seed elimination game tonight that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But, I mean, we'll rebound. I feel 100% confident, but it still doesn't diminish the fact that, we kind of got punched in the mouth, like Coach Pearl said last night, and that's a blueprint that everybody sees, and that's what they're going to try to do now. to see if they can come out there and knock us around and out physical us.
But the thing is, though, is you can't out physical a team when the officiating is not being called on both sides.
That was
Because
horrible too, by the way.
I'm not going to sit here and blame the refs and say, that they're the reason that we lost or whatever. No, we lost by 11 points. There's more than officials being the reason that we lost. Look at our performance. But what I'm saying, though, is that there's no reason or there's no way that we can win a game when I guess we have, but the officiating has been so one-sided, and it said a lot last night. And if you look at Twitter and all the comments and everything like that, not even all of them are just Auburn fans saying that, the officiating has been against us. But the thing is Reese and I were talking about this yesterday and before the game, and I was starting to get really ticked off with him because he was telling me, he was saying that,
in case y'all don't know, to cut her off, she's got an edge about her. Look, last night I just kind of backed off. I could feel the animosity through the phone, and I'm like, I'm gonna let her stew a little bit, and then she'll come back and say something. And but yeah, y'all just don't let the bright smile and fool you. She got an edge about her. You better not piss her off. So anyway, sorry about that, Faith. Go ahead.
I knew you probably needed to cut me off because I was going to get upset. But Reese and I were talking about it, and he was looking, and the line was moving, and all this kind of stuff right before the game and everything. And again, I've told y'all I really don't know how a lot of that kind of stuff works. But what he was telling me is that we're bound to lose another SEC game, and that people want us to lose another game before March Madness and everything like that. But he was also saying that with the line moving and all that kind of stuff, if people are betting, they're putting money on Auburn, and then now it's starting to go down, all that. And I guess from what he and I talked about, it makes more and more sense about we've already talked about the NBA being rigged and how so many other things are rigged. I'm not saying that it was rigged, but I am saying that there's no doubt about officials being in on like how the lines move and stuff like that to kind of offset something. I'm just saying that's what Reese and I talked about yesterday. And normally I don't really care. I don't gamble. I don't sports bet. I just watch the game and I get frustrated.
You talk about gambling more than any of us. So people are about
I
to
know,
start saying that
but
I
that's the
don't buy
thing.
that. Everybody's gonna be like, I ain't buying this.
No,
Like,
really, I don't. But with the line moving and all that kind of stuff, I was sitting there watching it and I was like, this makes sense. And he
Well-
told me when we lost, he was like, what did I tell you? You guys were bound to lose. And
Well,
the
and I-
officials, not that they had anything to do with it, but I feel like we're getting called more when it comes to the physicality, and other teams are getting away with it more. Just saying.
I mean, I think you bring up some good points. I think everybody that reads into betting lines and things like that, it's amazing how right they are a lot of times. And it does make you wonder, like that old song.
I'm not saying that there's anything going on with college sports. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying it makes
you go, right? Things that make you go, Do you even know what that song is? I'll play that for you later. That was an oldie back in the 90s, a group. It's things that make you go, And, betting lines make you do that. So let's dive into some. Look, I'm going to come back to your comments because I think, look, Pat Adams, when I see him refereeing a game, my skin crawls. For whoever game he has. You just expect some crap. I mean, for lack of better terms. All right. Dron said we played so damn flat, and we have to fix the rebounding issue that seems to creep up on us at any given moment. We got to have Denver for Saturday. Effort was terrible. I couldn't agree more with everything you said, Jerron. I think we found out how valuable Denver Jones is. defensively. What did Wade Taylor end up with? 14 points in that game, 16 points in that game. He kind of shut him down last year in Auburn. And by the way, retiring the jersey right after the game, really? Like, I mean, he's a good player and all, but was it that important?
Player of the year?
Was that important to go ahead and retire? I don't know. Anyway, whatever. They felt like they needed to do that. Dron said I would play Broome Saturday, but hold him out in the SEC tournament. I need to know that Johni Broome could put another game together, because Justin said, do you think Johni has lost the player of the year in the last two performances? And I do, because Cooper Flagg has stepped up. And I know they're not playing the same teams that Auburn's playing, but the effort against Kentucky and now the effort against Texas A&M was terrible. I mean, to go off the week prior to that and put the numbers up he put up and had really kind of surged and gained that momentum, boy, he has just petered out right here. And I know that's not the most important thing, but these last two efforts did not help his cause. Now, if he comes back against Alabama and puts up 31 and 14 or 15 rebounds, and, you know, it's in sports, Faith, it's about what have you done for me lately? You know, what's the latest thing you've done? That's what resonates in people's minds. You know, you can kind of have a crappy year in football and then you go off and win a bowl game, and or you end on a high note. People go, oh, well, we got some momentum going into the spring. You know, in basketball, you're as good as your last game. Well, our last game was last night. We lost 83-72. You know, just a couple of days prior to yesterday, we had knocked out Kentucky for the first time since 1988 in Rupp Arena, and had clinched the SEC regular season championship. So that's the ebbs and flows of basketball. So we'll forget this game Saturday if we come out and do what we're supposed to do. And you know what? Johni Broome can probably reconvince some people that he should be player of the year if he comes out and has a performance like we know he can have against Alabama.
What does with him mentally?
I don't know. I just, you know, he's around the rim, and sometimes his shot, he's got a soft shot, and sometimes when he looks like he's tired, he'll leave things short. And there were a couple of times early in the game, there was one on the left baseline where he just kind of just threw it up there, and it was off the side of the rim. And you can already tell, you know, early in the game that and then he left another one in the lane short off the front of the iron. And it's like, it's dead legs. I don't know. And it may not be. I may be totally making something up, but to me, from an observation standpoint, when he played like he played against Ole Miss, you know, he's got a lift. He had hop in his, you know, he was getting off the floor. He looked healthy. He was playing above the rim. That's the Johni Broome that got him in this position to be considered National Player of the Year. Then there's Flatfoot Johni, where it looks like he's barely getting off the floor. He's not really getting in there and mixing it up. You know, as far as trying to get rebounds, he's not doing a very good job on one-on-ones on defense, and he's kind of reaching, and then he gets called for some fouls. That's the Johni Broome we've got in the last couple of games. Now, Miles Kelly went off for 30 points against Kentucky, and it saved us. And, you know, we had some other good efforts. But 90% of the time, your best player is going to have to show up to help your team, because that's why he's the best player. And he cost us last night. With him not performing and Denver being out, there's the difference in the game for me, Faith. I mean, it was an 11-point win for Texas A&M. And if Johni has his normal 14, 15 points, and if Denver were in the lineup and had scored, you know, 6, 8 points, there's your difference in the game. So I'm not really worried about the performance, not really worried about the end result last night. I am a little concerned about some of the performance, but I do also understand that it was a short turnaround, and we did win the SEC on Saturday. So there's some elements that kind of led into that. Plus, Texas A&M was playing with a lot of energy, and it was senior night, so they had a lot riding on the game. So there's all that combined led to the result.
Like you said, it was their Super Bowl.
It was.
Looked like our hangover.
I mean,
Like there's no other way to put it.
And they had lost 4 in a row, by the way. So,
and I feel like that makes it even more of, which again is what really frustrates me after they go and retire Wade's jersey.
Yeah.
Because
I don't even care about that. That's their own.
So annoying.
Yeah, I mean, but that to me is kind of I told you last night.
Good for him.
What did I say? Well, yeah, it's not. I mean, Wade Taylor is a great player.
Yeah,
but I mean, did you have to sprint out onto the floor and do a retirement ceremony right then? I mean, now I know it was the last game at home, but normally you get guys to come back and do that and have a ceremony but whatever. I mean, that's them. I mean, they handled that. Had nothing to do with us. I did say to you, I think, if I can remember correctly, that was maybe one of the silliest things that I'd seen, But again, they need to do them, and we'll do us. And what we needed to do was get on the plane and get out of there, and get back to Auburn and regroup. And
it felt like the whole time it was, let's just get to halftime. Let's just get to halftime, and then let's just get to the end of the game.
How many times did I say that in the second half?
Let's just get on the plane. Let's just get out of there.
Well, just get out. I mean, sometimes it's not your night. And look, we're 27-3. If you'd have told me going into the last game of the regular season that Auburn would have lost 2 SEC games on this schedule, I'd have said you're crazy at the beginning of the year. I'd said, man, we'll have a chance to win the league, but I think the winner's going to have 4 or 5 losses. We could end up with 3 losses in SEC play if we don't play well. Saturday we'll probably lose because Alabama's coming in. I know it's going to be a rough environment, but Alabama kind of rises up to that situation. They're going to score, and we're going to hopefully have Denver Jones back in a position where he can, because he's an X factor. He was in Tuscaloosa, and we missed him last night, and we need Janai Broome to get out of the fog he's been in since Saturday. And if we can do that, we'll be back on track. But I think the bigger worry is looking forward into March. And Bruce Pearl saying, here, I don't want to go back down this road again. I mean, we have had such a great season. And we have been the best team in basketball most of the year. 8 straight weeks. If Auburn beats Alabama Saturday, I think they'll stay number 1. I mean, I know there's a lot of national media and all just dying to put Duke up there because they're Duke. And they're dying to give Cooper Flagg the National Player of the Year. I know where the bias is. I hear it in the announcers. You do. It's always, well, Auburn this, and well, yeah, they're good, but and then it's can we praise Duke enough? I mean, they can't praise Duke enough about anything they do. And so whatever. Let them. I would rather have the media do that and put a chip on our guy's shoulder and say, "Look, we've been the dominant team all year, but nobody respects us. So let's go show them. Let's do that rather than go out in the first week of the tournament again. We can't do that this year."
Yeah, I mean, I'm fully behind you on that. There's no doubt about that. If Alabama comes in here. Here's the other thing, too, and I don't want to talk too much about this now about Alabama because we've got the whole rest of the week to talk about it. But you've got Aiden Holloway coming back.
Oh, man.
To Neville Arena, and I can only imagine what that's going to be like for him and what it's going to be like for our guys that have played with him. And especially tonight, Florida's coming to them. They're going to be, number one, mad about how their game on Saturday went. And so tonight, if they lose
Oh man.
against Florida, we need to be so scared. We need to literally be playing the best basketball that we've been playing or that we've played in a while on Saturday.
You know, here's what Auburn needs to do. They need to not worry about what Alabama's record is. They don't need to worry about what the possible tournament, SEC tournament, is going to look like. They need to come back this week, and this is where I think Bruce Pearl's so good. He's going to get them back this week, and he's going to challenge them, and he's going to say, hey, what are you made of? You know, that was terrible. And is that how we respond after we win a championship? We just lay down, say, okay, we've done all this all year to get to this point just to fizzle out. I think he's going to chat. We needed this. Look, I don't like to lose. I'm going to tell you that again. But sometimes I remember back in 2001 with Benjamin Russell, and they were killing everybody. And they jumped up on Opelika 10-0, the last game of the season. And it looked like we were going to cruise, and we kind of went into a shell, and Opelika came back and beat us. And they beat us in a close game. And it woke up that team, and they went on a run in the playoffs like you've never seen before. And they just destroyed everybody. And I'm telling you, everything to that point had been so easy for them. They needed somebody to punch them in the face and go, hey, guess what? You're not invincible. And I think it mattered, and it got them ready to play in the playoffs, and they won a state championship that year. I think that may be what happened. If I'm Alabama, I'm scared. I've got Florida tonight, and then I got, and then I've got Alabama coming in, or I got Auburn on the road. I've got to finish with two of the roughest games in the whole country back to back, and then if you want to add the Tennessee game in there, I mean, what a 3-game stretch for that group. So I'm worried this Texas A&M loss woke Auburn up and pissed them off, and they're about to go on a run here in March, and I'm hoping that's what it is. I mean, hangovers hurt when you're 24 or 25 years old. Hey, look, I'll take it's worked so far, Rebel Yell. I mean, it's been a pretty damn good result to this point, 27-3. If you tell me we'd go 27-3 every year, give me a bunch of 24 and 25-year-olds. You can take your 18-year-olds out of high school, and I'll take my more experienced veteran players. And I think, you may be making a point about them coming down the stretch, getting a little bit tired. I don't think so. I mean, it's one game, and we're breaking it down, and we didn't have good effort, and we did win the SEC championship on Saturday. So there's a lot of things that go into it. But, I mean, it seems to me that that's kind of the formula now. I think Rick Pitino said he's not going to recruit any more high school guys. Now, to each his own. But with the way the portal is and replacing guys and getting more experienced players in there, hey, it's worked so far. I like our blueprint. So Justice said Alabama's pissed. They didn't live up to expectations, and the team took glory in that Tennessee loss. Yeah, I mean, again, Alabama's got a massive game tonight against Florida. And if they lose that, I think they drop. That's 7 losses for them. And they start to fade on down a little bit. So, yeah, they've got a lot riding. They can also have 2 massive wins to close the season against Florida and Auburn. So there's a couple of different ways to look at it for them.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
All right. We're going to get into some more stuff here, but it is time to thank all of our partners here. Sensa Green, for air that's cool and clean, call on Sensa Green. They are the carrier experts, proud supporters of Auburn athletics and the Auburn Blitz podcast, saving you thousands of dollars on new installs and new units. Scout Program Management in Birmingham, Alabama. Those guys are the best. They're a full-service construction management firm specializing in educational projects, school builds, renovations, take you from start to finish, call on Scout Program Management for your project. They'll take care of you. Another reason for Faith to smile is when I pull up the Bunkers logo. We'll be at Bunkers on Friday, pre-Iron Bowl Eve, and excited to be at Bunkers to do our show. Looking forward to it. Great food, great atmosphere. Saturday, they were rocking it out in there after Auburn knocked off Kentucky, and then Alabama lost to Tennessee. So it was a great deal. Saw the videos. It was outstanding. Great times there in Bunkers. And then we'll get to some more of our partners here in just a little bit. But again, put that on your calendar. Love to come out, and love for you to come out and see us at Bunkers on Friday if you have an opportunity at lunch. All right, so I'll put wake up call on here, kind of a little, we call God all year, and so maybe this was a little wake up call, a little play on words.
Calling them now.
That's right, and telling them to wake up and don't carry. That's the thing. If you're going to lose a game, look, if Auburn goes on and makes a great run in March, nobody's going to care about this game. It mattered way more to Texas A&M because they had lost 4 in a row and they had kind of slid in the standings a little bit. So it was important for them to get that win. But now we move on from that. You don't sit here and simmer over that loss. Auburn is 15-2 now. You got Florida and Alabama tonight. They're both 12-4. Something's got to give there, Faith. One of them will have sole possession of second place tonight. Then Tennessee at 11-5, Missouri 10-6. Obviously, A&M improved their record last night to 10-7. So, that's just the top 6 teams there in the conference. But, Auburn hasn't lost a single thing by losing that game last night. Everything is still ahead of them. I would much rather get that loss under our belt now and learn from it, move on, and prep yourself for what's coming. Finish this game Saturday. Finish strong at home. And you won't even remember what happened last night.
There's no doubt that Neville Arena hopefully is going to be rocking after.
Oh, it's going to be. It wouldn't have mattered what happened this week. We've all been pointing to that game, knowing that everything that kind of we thought it possibly could be a game that determined the number 1 ranking in the SEC, but Alabama's kind of dropped a few games, and Auburn was able to go ahead and clinch that thing. But it doesn't take away from the enormity of that game and what Coach Pearl said, that he has no desire to split with them this year. You want to win both games. We've gone to Tuscaloosa. Now you want to defend your home court. So Auburn's lost 1 game on the road in conference play, and they've lost 1 home game. And they've lost to 2 really good teams in Texas A&M and Florida. So it's not like Auburn had a night where they got beat by a team that you went, man, that shouldn't have happened. It wasn't that LSU snuck up and beat us, or, we lost to South Carolina, or, whatever. It's 2 really good teams that have been at the top of the league a majority of the season. So there's nothing to hold your head down. You weren't going to go undefeated. And then the only other loss was on the road after you come back from winning the Maui Invitational, and you got to go to Cameron Indoor Arena and play Duke on their home floor, which is one of the worst places to play in college basketball. And you have a guy go off for 18 points in the first half that went completely missing in the second half. And, it was enough for them to win that game on the road, or at home. So those are the 3 losses for Auburn. If you'd have said that's what your resume is going to look like, Faith, going into the season, would have probably been good. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, Rebel. I agree. Yeah,
I was reading. I didn't know if we were gonna.
Everything is more. I mean, everything is rougher when the older you get. you don't recover as well, no doubt. So, and they again, I'm not saying we conceded, but if you're Bruce Pearl, I don't know that I would have handled it any differently. Let the guy. It has been a long, physical, grueling season. They deserve to celebrate Saturday night, and they did need Sunday to recover from that. So they didn't have very much time to turn around. But historically, this is a rough matchup for Auburn anyway. So anyway, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. They still hurt. They were still hurting on Monday, and they looked like a team that was hungover, literally, for sure. I think that's what you said to start the game, the show, right, Faith?
It is.
This was our hangover game.
It literally was.
And literally, I think it was a hangover game. So, all right. So Auburn shifts focus. Tomorrow we will dive into some Alabama talk, and then on Friday we will be at Bunkers for the pregame show, and then of course Saturday. If you don't have a ticket to get into Neville Arena, you need to go out to Bunkers. That place was rocking Saturday for the Kentucky game. Had some buddies that sent me some FaceTime videos from there and some recorded videos from there, and that place was packed. A party, of course, Mardi Gras was going on too, so that also helped downtown. But there's not a better place, is there, Faith, to go watch a basketball game?
Yeah, and if you want to actually go to the game, tickets are as low as $370 for standing room.
I love how you
and
I love how you sold that as low as.
also, if you don't want to stand and you want to sit, they're as low as $681, and they go all the way up past $3,000. So if you want to go to the game,
Natural sales girl. Natural sales
Yes,
girl.
sir.
As low as $370 for you to stand. So I love how she spun that to make it sound like you're getting a really good deal to go stand up for a 40-minute basketball game and pay $370 to do it. So good job. I applaud you on that. Good
Appreciate
sales pitch. All right, let's look at tonight's matchups. It's odd to have more games on Tuesday than it is Wednesday, but that's the way this played out. In that game last night at 9 o'clock, Arkansas rebounded and knocked off Vanderbilt. That was a bad loss for Vanderbilt. It was a must-win for Arkansas if they were to stay on pace. Texas knocked off Mississippi State in overtime, 87-82, and Kentucky was just pissed off about what happened on Saturday, and they destroyed LSU 95-64, and then Georgia took care of business on the road at South Carolina 73-64. Tonight, all eyes will be on Tuscaloosa as Florida heads in to Alabama, and Alabama's a 3.5-point favorite. Florida, to me, this game is a one-seed elimination game. The loser of this game is out of the one line. Because I do think Auburn and Duke have locked up a 1 seed. I think Houston, if they don't stumble against Kansas or Baylor, they will lock up. I'm not sure. Did Baylor play last night or they play tonight? I don't know. But I know they've got Kansas. I know they've got Kansas coming up, and they've got Baylor. So I don't know if Houston played last night or not. Check that. If they don't stumble, I think they have a 1 seed. So you got Florida, Tennessee, Alabama sitting there all fighting maybe for that other 1 seed. So if you lose this game, I think a lot of the pundits are going to say, okay, and that gives Alabama 7 losses tonight if they lose that game. So I'm not sure you see very many.
They played Kansas on Monday.
Okay. All right.
They won.
They played Kansas on Monday. So they've already knocked off Kansas. See, I'm not keeping up with them at all. So.
And Baylor played TCU last night.
Okay. When does Houston play Baylor? Okay. Saturday. So that's it. So that'll be it. And so I think they're going to lock up the 1 seed there.
Yeah, Baylor only beat TCU by 3. So
yeah, I think and I think they beat Baylor by 9. Houston did earlier in the year. So I think that's 3 number 1 seeds. So there's really only 1 number 1 seed up for grabs. And so that's how important this game is for Florida and Alabama. They want to stay in the hunt. And Tennessee is ranked ahead of both of them at number 4. They got Ole Miss tonight at 8 o'clock. So, again, don't know what you're going to get with Tennessee a lot of times. So, but they want to stay on track. They need to go on the road and take care of business, but Ole Miss is a tough place to go play, just like anywhere in the SEC. So, and then the other game, Missouri will travel to Oklahoma tonight, and that's your 3 games tonight. But we'll be watching that Florida-Alabama game at 6 o'clock. That's a big game for both of those teams, and doesn't have any bearing on who wins the conference because Auburn has already taken care of that. But that's a game of note, though, because the winner will have sole possession of second place and probably may be the lead for the 4th number 1 seed in the tournament. So, all right, Faith, it was not the best show as far as topic to talk about. Hate to come on here and talk about losses, but it is what it is. You're not going to win them all. You ain't going to win them all in life. You and I are in the sales business out there, and so you're not going. If you closed every sale, boy, we'd be smiling all the time for sure. But it's not going to happen. So that's just part of life, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Got to take the punches and go on with it. All right, Sure Shot. Yeah, there you go. Sure Shot in Alexander City. Call them 256-329-0080. When March rolls around, I get fired up. Turkey hunting is right here upon us. And if you're looking for a new shotgun, they've got them. If you're looking for new apparel, they've got it. If you want the best in whatever it is you're looking for outdoors, they've got it. They sell and trade new and used firearms. Don't take my word for it. Go see them. I get all my stuff there at Sure Shot in Alexander City. You do the same. If you love the outdoors, go check them out, and they'll take care of you. Go see Scott and his staff there and tell them we sent you here from Auburn Blitz. And if you're about to have a party or you're planning a party and you got to have a bartending service there, call on Oliver Ross. They'll take care of you. You'll be the talk of everybody. You'll say, man, that was an unbelievable party because they had fully licensed and experienced and trained bartenders that are going to blow everybody's socks off. And the service is going to be great. And you're going to be proud you hired them. And you won't have to worry about anything because they'll take care of it for you. So go check them out on Instagram and Facebook and book Oliver Ross for your next function. They can handle thousands of people down to 50 for a private get-together. So, Faith, again, we want to encourage people to subscribe to our YouTube channel. How unbelievable has the last week been for us?
Yeah, I'm just really excited about it. If that happens, in a week, let's see what can happen in a month and just keep spreading the word and telling everybody.
Yeah, we are at 1,091 subscribers, so we're right there on the cusp of 1,100 now. And again, we can't thank all of you enough for what you've done for us in just a short amount of time, a very small amount of time. Faith and I have been doing this podcast, and Faith is still very young, although she talks about how old she is. She just graduated from Auburn in December. So we really just got this thing going in January. And when we're already over 1,000 subscribers, and it's because of you guys. And we are dead set focused on getting to 2,000 and then to 4,000 and then to 8,000 and then on beyond. So y'all keep helping us spread the word. If you love our content, subscribe, get your buddies to subscribe, share our post out there. Again, we're working hard for you to bring you the best information. Getting into football season, we're going to have some really cool stuff. Hey, do want to go ahead and tell everybody we'll have Andy Burcham join us here on the podcast next Tuesday. So excited about that at 8:30. So looking forward to having Andy on the on the program with us to talk about his view of this season. That'll be after the regular season has concluded, so it'll be a good opportunity to catch up with Andy, Faith, and looking forward to that.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And then, of course, we'll have Jason Caldwell on Monday with us. So may get Jason to come out if he's available on Friday to be with us at Bunkers. I do know that we're going to have another special guest that we'll announce a little bit later on that'll be coming to join us there at Bunkers on Friday. So you just have to kind of wait, everybody. I'm not going to give everything away in one big fell swoop. So we're going to let you kind of simmer on that a little bit. But Jerron, thank you, brother. Hey, you've been here pretty much since day one. You found us and you've spread the word, and you got a hat coming, compliments of Faith. She hooked you up, brother. She hooked you up. Hey, you messaged her yesterday. Go ahead and message her again and send her your address, and we'll get that hat in the mail to you. Okay, brother? Appreciate it. We're going to give some more away. I'm behind, Faith. I mean, the dadgum thing exploded, and I was sitting there waiting to give a hat away at 600. Now I've got, 3 or 4 hats to give away. Yeah. And if I don't get on it real quick, I'm about to have 5 because we're about to be at 1,100. So we just keep on giving this stuff out because we want you to wear it and show it. I think Coach Kleinard out in Vegas is wearing our swag this week, and hopefully he'll send us a picture of that. Looking forward to getting that, and had some pictures sent to us. Some of our buddies and some fans at Kentucky this past weekend sent us some pictures with their Auburn Blitz hat on. Sloan was sporting that hat, looking good there with his son and his buddy Jay and their son. So a lot of fun there in Kentucky for Auburn fans that made that trip on Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm glad that his son got a win. He's had a
he's an Auburn fan. He's had a rough stretch for sure. So, yeah. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here, get this day rolling. Again, we appreciate you always finding us here on the Auburn Blitz podcast. We will be back with you tomorrow morning. Again, same time, same place. Hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow. And War Eagle.
War Eagle.